You are listening to the Mountainside Podcast, and our guest for this episode is Super Bowl champion and former Denver Bronco, Derek Wolfe. It was great to finally sit down with Derek and have him in studio to record today. He's a great person to be around and is truly passionate about everything that he tackles in life. He's a true outdoorsman, conservationist, and just an overall good human. We had a great conversation today. We dove all over the place, not only talking about football, much more. I hope you enjoy our conversation. Rolling, man. All right. Derek Wolfe, great to finally have you in here, man. It's been a minute. Shout out to Coach Mark, too, for connecting us. Love that dude. We were just talking about him before we hit record here, but
yeah, man. He's so I started training with him a couple years ago because I started boxing in 2013 because it just helped. The hand fighting in football and pass rushing it's all about finding angles, and I was a wrestler too, and I just love being around the sports, So I started working with Mark, and he took it to a whole nother level. Like, we were working pass rush moves when we were hitting mitts and stuff, and he just would crush us. So I was bringing other players in there, and nobody ever really came back the second time because he would kill us.
Yeah, I think I saw photos of you and Vaughn in there.
Yeah, me and Vaughn. Vaughn would come in there with me, but because Vaughn, he'll train like that. But some guys, they don't like training like that.
Yeah, no, that's how I prefer to train, is like somebody trying to choke me out or hit me or hitting mitts, because you don't realize what you're actually outputting.
Yeah.
And for being a big dude, I don't like to work very hard. That's just me. You, on the contrary, probably not, though, huh?
Yeah,
You're used to it.
I just even now, like my training now is just like high level, high intensity. Like, for an hour straight, we're just going to try to kill ourselves for an hour straight. And it's just the endorphins I get from that. It's like my church, It's right. I have to do
if I don't work out daily, I am not in a very good mood.
No, me neither.
I prefer to do it first thing in the morning, just so it's like out of the way, because life catches up with you, man. It's like, you never know what's coming in the day sometimes, right? Especially when you have kids.
Oh, dude. That's the best thing about school starting, is now I can get my afternoons back,
You know where they're going to be or where they're supposed to be for a few hours.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I hear that. So after playing 10 years in the NFL, man, you're retired now. How's that feeling?
It's good, man. It's the level of anxiety that you have as a professional athlete all the time. You didn't even realize it till I was done. I didn't realize how much anxiety I had.
Oh, I bet.
Because it was just like the constant worry of somebody's trying to take my job, and the constant that drive, right? It just drives you every day, and then you push and push and push and push until you can't push anymore. And that's kind of where I hit that wall. I was just like, man, I just don't love this anymore. I'm tired of being miserable. I had 2 hip surgeries. Right. I was like, it's time to call it, man. I got to call it and get on with my life. And because I love to hunt, I love to hunt. I snowboard.
Yeah, I've been seeing some of your posts, man. We've been following you on Insta for a little while, and it's you've been on some epic hunts lately, man. And
I got it in the
seems
spring.
like you just recently started posting about that. Is that something that the NFL kind of discourages you not to?
Well, here's what happens: is you get shadow banned. When you start posting stuff like that, you start getting shadow banned. Like, if you look at a football post.
Oh, look at that.
Like, if you look at a football post, you'll see.
You just posted that today, didn't you? Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, Abby and I went to North Fork Ranch and got after my wife.
That's a nice trout, man.
Oh, that was a 25-inch trout. It just doesn't look that big as my hand. You see my size of my hands, you know what I mean?
Right.
But my wife smacked a good. If you look at the next picture, my wife she ripped a nice one out of there.
Oh, sweet. So she's into it too, then.
Oh yeah, she likes fishing. She won't hunt, but she'll fish. It's as long as it's catch and release, she's all right with it. But she does not like. She likes hiking and snowboarding and everything, but she won't hunt.
Yeah, it's a beautiful spot.
Yeah, it's really pretty down there, man. It just seemed like every hole had it's weird when you're catching 14, 15-inch trout and you're like, get rid of it. Yeah.
No, that's a nice trout.
It was fun, man.
I love fly fishing, man. It's one of my favorite pastimes.
Sorry,
you were saying back to getting shadow banned and that sort of thing for sharing certain things. And
yeah, if you look at a football picture, even a picture of my wife and I, it'll have if you look at the engagement, it's so much higher than a video of me hunting, and it's because they're shadow banning it. They're muting the story on other people's. They're making it so. It's just the far left bullshit that they do, you know?
I couldn't agree more. I think a lot of it happens with us, and we don't. I think it's just because of the content and stuff that we put out sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden, like we'll have something that I think should go viral, and it'll totally, you know.
Look at this, 580.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Well, you got Cam Haynes
then,
up there.
yeah.
Shout out to Cam too. He's been a big supporter.
4,000.
Yeah, that just shows you right there that like they're shadow banning.
Yeah.
You know, Cam Haynes has been cool as hell, man. He's been like because I did that bear post,
Okay.
in honor of him basically, because I was like, dude, I saw Cam doing this, I got to do it, you know.
Right.
That was a 300-pound bear, collared bear. It was
God damn.
26 yards from the ground. It was a fun hunt. That was up at Wagon
That's
House,
awesome.
up in Douglas, Wyoming. Awesome place. I'm gonna be up there at the end of September for a general deer tag I drew, so.
That's awesome.
I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be fun.
It's a nice bear. Yeah, Cam has got a whole thing. Have you read his book Endure yet?
I haven't read the whole book,
Okay.
no, but I've
Check
read
it
like
out.
snippets of it. And
He dives into a little bit, and I think some of this might have been in Backcountry Bowhunter too, which is another book of his that's pretty awesome. But he calls it counting coup, you know, like kind of the following the Native American culture, and it was kind of putting yourself in danger. And then you would basically get, you know, whatever status in the tribe for doing that counting coup, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes there was feather representation or war paint that like kind of correlated. But
That's pretty
I know
cool.
when he shoots a bear before it expires, he runs up to it and like pets it or something. Like I don't know. It's
well, that's the thing, right? When an animal's dying, I kind of did that with my bison. I stuck a bison at 70 yards with 70. It was like 77 yards with my bow.
really
And and he laid down like 20 yards after it from where I hit him, but he was dying, and I went over there and kind of like, you don't want an animal to go, you want it to go out in peace, right? Like feel peaceful.
yeah. I'm a
goes out.
2-arrow guy, man. I'm a double tap.
Oh,
guy.
absolutely.
If I can get 2 in him, I'm going to. Like as soon as I shoot that first arrow, I'm knocking another one.
Oh,
just
it's
for
right
those
away.
Ethics, right? Like
Yeah.
that.
Well, you want the animal to die quick, right? You don't want to see an animal suffer.
No, not at all.
It's like that with whitetail too. You know, like you stick an arrow in one, and you know their will to live is incredible, right? Like you'll single lung
so
you'll
fast,
single
too.
lung one, and they might live. Right. So it's like they might live. So you got to go try to find them. You know, you give them like an hour or two to let them go lay down,
Right.
and then sneak in there and try to get up on them. But you always got an arrow knock just in case. And I've been in those situations where I had to draw back and stick another one in them.
Yeah, I've done it with elk too, man. Elk, deer. It's just I've learned the hard way. It's a good habit, you know. Like,
Oh yeah, because you get up on them and they jump up and leave,
Yeah, you never know. Yeah.
and you never see them again.
Tell me about your bison hunt, man, because that's something that it's a bucket list for me, and I'm actually looking to maybe get it done this year. Did you go in Colorado? or-
I went New Mexico.
Okay.
I did a free range down in New Mexico, and it was a private land, but it was free range.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a management bull. He was an old bull. He was ready to go. 12, 15 years old.
I saw the picture of you holding the heart, man, and it was like
incredible hunt, man.
the
It was so
size
cool.
of, I don't know, both those coffee bags put together.
Yeah, it's on there somewhere.
But that's cool. It's free range because I mean, there's not very many places that they are. I've been putting in up in Wyoming outside of Grand Tetons there on the elk
Yeah.
refuge on the other side of it to see if I can get in. But who knows, dude? I think that's like a lifelong tag type deal to
Well,
get into that.
the weird thing is that they'll introduce like wolves back into a population, but they won't let people go hunt.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you just like they're trying to introduce wolves back into Colorado, and it's like, why don't you just let more people hunt? Like, people are dying to go hunting, but you make these tags so unattainable for especially people that live here in state.
Yeah.
It's easier to be an out of stater to get a tag here.
And there's a whole bunch of ethics that go into that too. It's like if it's really about anti-hunting, like there's no more ethical way for an animal to die, like we just talked about, or than getting eaten alive is
Asshole
is
first.
way different. Yeah,
Asshole first,
you know what
too.
I mean? Than getting stuck by an arrow.
Right, you get stuck by an arrow, they run 40 yards, lay down, and die.
Shot. They like stick their head up and they're like, "What the fuck was that?" And they don't even know, but just because you're using a razor sharp broadhead,
And it goes straight through 'em.
Straight through them. If you don't hit them in a rib or something,
Yeah,
it's
they don't
like-
even know,
They don't even know, and next thing you know, they're on the ground.
and they die peacefully. You know, it's
Right.
there's no people think it's like this savage thing that is going on. It's not that way. It's it's very honorable to the animal. Especially that's why I love bow hunting, because you're up close and personal with them.
Yeah,
and
I prefer it myself.
I do too.
I haven't hunted with a rifle in, God, I don't know, like 20 some years, just for that sheer fact that I prefer the ethics of it and the challenge too, and I don't know. I enjoy shooting my bow too. It's like one of my favorite things to do. So
I get reps in every night in the morning. Yeah. Anytime I get a 30-minute free time there, I'm in the backyard.
Hit me up the other day, you're like, hey, I heard you got a range. I'll bring my bow up. I'll bring it for sure. Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah,
definitely. So we got to get up and go shoot sometime.
We should go up there. I was up there with Luke Cadillo a couple weeks ago.
We've had Luke on too. Yeah. Shout out to Luke. He's a fucking good dude.
Yeah, I did a podcast with him. We were on there for like 4.5 hours.
Oh, we're not going that long.
My wife was pissed. She's like, "You said you're gonna be home at 8:00. It's midnight." And I was like, sorry, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's crazy because he does it a little bit later. It's a marathon over there. I think
midnight leaving Luke's is a problem.
I think when I was on, it was at least 3-4 hours, and then we were there for another couple afterwards, bullshitting.
Just bullshitting,
playing craps or whatever, gambling,
definitely gambling.
I heard you took his money.
I did take his money because I took his money the first time. He thought I just picked a bow up. He didn't know I was been shooting a bow since I was 13, 14 years old. So he thought I just picked a bow up. And he was like, make sure you bring your bow, bring some money. And I was like, all right, I'll be there. So the first round we played for I think we paid for like $50. I took it from him. And he was like, oh, all right. So the next round he beat me by 1 point and we played for $100. So he got his 50 back, And it was pretty funny though, because he was like the shots he was trying to get me to take, like down on our knees and under these trees, and he was like, "All right, you can shoot."
Too?
Oh yeah, he was like, "All right, you can shoot." And I was like, "Yeah." And then we went to the Western Hunt thing over there at that
American Bowman.
Yeah.
No,
we went over there.
Awesome spot,
we went over there and did that, and I took his money there too. So
nice. How was that event?
That was cool. It was.
That's
fun.
A cool course, huh?
Really cool course. Yeah. I'd never done that's the thing. I come from Ohio. They don't have stuff like that in Ohio. Like. They just don't have it. It's not. I just never even.
It's
heard
pretty
of that.
unique for Colorado to find a course like that. I mean,
it is.
The targets are pristine,
and those targets are expensive. That's why. I mean, they're $2,000, $2,500 for a big elk. It's $2,500. That's expensive.
And they got probably 6 or 8 of them out there on, 3 on each side. I think
they had all kinds of cool stuff. They had platforms to shoot whitetail off of, and.
Did you do that cliff shot? I think it's on the blue side. It's
on that ram. On that ram, that was tough.
That's pretty tough.
It's a tough shot because you feel like you're gonna fall over the edge. Yeah. You start hinging at the hip. You just feel like you're gonna go over.
And it's just with the angles, man. It's so good for you to be
learning how to cam left, cam right. Yeah,
so cool. I try to go up there twice a week if I can.
Really?
That's part of my ritual because it's only 35 minutes from here, right?
That's nothing. It's like an hour.
I'll run up there, and 9 times out of 10, I'm the only guy out there too. So
that's cool.
It's pretty awesome, man. Yeah. It's kind of a good connection. It's a good little workout. Throw some weight in the pack.
Exactly.
Try to keep it as a real hunting scenario, and then some of the targets I've been running between just to get some extra, to
conditioning,
get some stuff
right?
in. Yeah, and it's so good shooting up and downhill.
Well, think about the mistake that people make when they come out here to hunt, right? I'm from Ohio.
Right.
I remember people. I have friends that are avid hunters. They hunt every day. Every day of the season in the fall, they're out there in the woods, waiting for the. They're letting all these 150, 160-inch deer pass, waiting for that 180, 200-inch buck. And then they come out west and they quit. They go 2 days and they quit because they didn't train. They just drank beer all.
Yeah, man.
That's what happens though. They sit in a deer stand and drink beer all day, think they're hunting.
Yeah, I mean the altitude will fuck with you, and then if you're drinking beer in camp at night, and
you're dehydrated.
90% of the animals that I've taken have been at first light or last light.
Yep.
So you better get ready for an all-nighter either way, right? Whether you're getting up at 3 to try to get to where they're at, but that's honestly why I like backpack hunting, man, because you're there.
You're just there. You're living in there, right?
Yeah.
You're living with them.
I
want to be sleeping with the animals, so I'm not waking up and hiking 7 miles to get in there.
Exactly. Yeah.
I want to wake up, hike a mile or two, get in there. Make that first day the day that we do the hiking.
Be fresh, right?
Yeah, and be fresh when you wake up, because if you put 14 miles on a day, you're going to be hurting.
And a lot of times in archery season, those elk, and if you're hunting elk, they're above tree line. So it's like,
yep.
You're not
at
9,000,
10,000 feet.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
No joke.
You can't breathe. That's the other thing. You can't breathe. So you need to acclimate yourself And it takes a couple days to acclimate, and then by the time you're acclimated, it's like, oh, the hunt's over. You know,
That's something I used to see you guys on the sidelines a lot using oxygen and stuff.
oh yeah.
And then I noticed kind of like with the whole COVID thing, they just kind of did away with it, right?
They
Or
did
some
away.
shit?
Well, they made it like it used to be. We had the oxygen thing, and I'd hit it and hand it to the next guy, and he'd hit it. Now
Right.
it's like, and you got to think like the offense is out there for 3. If they go 3 and out, you know what I mean? It's like I need to get that oxygen now because I'm going straight back to the field.
Right.
And I went 4 years in Denver with no quarterback, so we were 3 and out a lot.
No joke.
So I need that oxygen now. And when COVID hit, it was like they weren't letting us just pass it back and forth. It had to be cleaned and sanitized. And I'm like, dude, I'm sitting right next to this guy. Who cares? Like
Right.
if he's got if he's got big Rona, I already got it. Like
Yeah.
not worried
I mean,
about
not
it.
to mention they're basically spitting in your face and
Oh,
stuff.
spitting and sweating all over each other. It's like, come on, man. Like it was so ridiculous. The shit
Right.
they were
Yeah.
doing.
The stuff that you guys had to go through it. I mean, me too, even in my industry, you know, I'm in the entertainment industry, rock and roll and that sort of stuff. And just the testing and the protocols, and it was insane. So I'm kind of glad
Every
that's
day.
starting to tail off a little
They
bit.
test us every single day.
Yeah.
Every day. It was so stupid.
And were you guys doing the brain tickle, the PCR
Yeah.
or whatever too?
Yeah.
Damn.
Every day, every morning.
Every day. That can't be good for you, right?
I mean, I don't know. It was like it's first thing in the morning too, so I got like snot rockets all over there, you know. So they're like pulling out like I'm like, oh.
Put that in the test, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's that's crazy, but I'm glad that you're, you know, out doing what you love and you're able to do some of it. You kind of mentioned that you might have something in the works with a hunting show, right?
Yeah.
Or something and
Yeah. So when it comes to branding, like my name, it's gonna be called Wolfe Untamed. And it's just gonna be all the outdoor shit that I'd like to do. You know, I love to fly fish as well. I like to snowboard. You know, my wife loves to snowboard, so I have to love to snowboard. But I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. I just like being outside, right? Just anything outside and being active and getting an adrenaline pump. Like I love it. So, and that's probably why I love bow hunting so much, is because the adrenaline rush that you get from the, you know, when you even if you don't kill something, but just being in on an animal that close is like, you know, there's been times where I thought they were going to hear my heart beating. I'm like, they're going to take off. They're going to hear my heart beating. So,
and it's crazy how they can sense it too, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But we're working on some stuff here. We're trying to do a mainstream show where I bring guys like DeMarcus Ware on the show. We go out and we do it. Like I'm actually working with Hoyt right now to get DeMarcus
really?
a new bow so he can start shooting.
I didn't know he was a bow hunter. I know Vaughn.
He's not a bow hunter,
he's
but he
not.
wants to. So
Okay.
it's like I'm bringing somebody into the fold, you know. And
That's
he's
awesome.
really a fisherman, but he's like, man, I've always wanted to bow hunt. Like I always thought that was cool, and he sees me doing it, and he's like, let's do it, you know. So
Hell
I'm
yeah.
trying to get him. He's got a big long draw like I do, so he needs a high line.
Right. Like what kind of bow are you shooting?
I'm shooting at high line right now. I shot a Matthews before.
What's your draw length?
It's 33
Okay.
inches. So,
Yeah, I'm at 30, so not quite there.
well, it narrows the bows that you can shoot down.
I know,
It's like
yeah,
a lot of
big
these
time.
bows only go out to 31 inches or 30 inches, and that's just too short. I don't want a D loop that's 2
Yeah.
inches long.
Yeah, no, hell no.
I don't like that. So
Yeah,
doing
I
stuff
feel like I'm shooting javelins, but your arrows must be,
oh, they go right.
they
through
must
them.
penetrate.
Yeah, that's.
like
I was
no
actually
other.
talking to Aaron Snyder about it, and I was like, what kind of broadhead should I use? He's like, shit, use a butter knife if you want.
Yeah, use a
but-
spoon.
Yeah, he's like, you're pulling, what you're pulling. You're not, I'm pulling 70 pounds, 75 pounds, and it's flying 345 feet. So
Right.
that thing's going. You could put a butter knife on there. I could probably kill him with a field tip.
Right.
So
Yeah, no, that's a lot of energy, man. That's a lot of energy behind the arrow too.
but yeah, we're working on a show. We'll probably do something with YouTube for sure. Like we're starting to upload videos. I got a bunch of footage from the spring already from turkey and bear, but this fall we're gonna start filming and really put some stuff together. Because I have 3 big hunts in September that we're gonna have a lot of footage from. And
Right
I got
on.
bear tags. Not only do I have the the deer and elk tag down in New Mexico, but I got bear tag down there too. So both times I'll get an opportunity to go chase a bear.
That's great, man. Are you hunting in Colorado this year at all? Or?
I didn't draw anything here.
Okay.
But I did buy a bear tag here.
Nice.
So hopefully
No over-the-counter elk or anything?
No,
You gonna-
well, I just don't have the time to go
Right.
do it. Like,
That's
because
kinda where
I'm
I'm
doing
at.
sports radio as well. So
Oh, okay.
I have to they're giving me the month of September off. So it's like, I'm pushing the limits there if I start taking any more time off. So it's it's just I'm gonna work next year. I'll do an over the counter elk for sure. Something I can just slip up for the weekend. Especially because I'll have that sprinter van built out, so I'll already have my camp set
Full
up, so I can
rig,
get in there deep, and it's not a big problem to get out of there. I don't have to hike. Or most guys can't get back there and sleep. I'll be able to get back there and sleep, no problem. Be good.
That's awesome. Well, tell me more about the van. How are you outfitting it? You said you might be doing a show out of it too,
yeah.
or
So
something?
I want to. So when I bring these guests on for my show, I want to be able to interview them and stuff before and do a podcast out of it. So what I'm going to do is I put a topper on it so it raises up and it doubles my sleeping space, so I could sleep up there, and in the bottom I can have a mobile set, like a mobile studio really. That way I can just pre-record stuff, because obviously we're going to be in areas that there's no service. It won't be live, but
that's awesome. We've done it with this. That's kind of how I originally set up this whole system, was to, go out and be able to. We've done them in parks and where else, Jeremy? I can't remember.
Well, you just go mobile anyway. You can take it on the road with you.
yeah,
No,
it's
that's been
perfect.
awesome, man. So yeah, if you need any help, recommendations on gear or anything, let me know, dude. I'd be glad to share what I know. I had to learn the hard way a little bit.
Yeah, right. That's the best way to learn, though.
Yeah.
Making mistakes.
Yeah.
If you don't learn from them, though, you're probably fucked.
For sure.
What kind of sprinter did you get?
It's a 170 Mercedes 170 4x4. So it's up there. It's up in Loveland at Colorado Camper Vans.
Okay.
And they have like this patented topper that they put on it is like rock solid, man. Cause that's what I was worried about. I was like, I don't want some flimsy ass thing up there, right?
Right.
But it's dope. It's gonna be really cool.
It's nice being able to roll into that mobile like that. Like that's kind of how I have my base camp set up now. I used to pull like a little pop-up camper, and now I just have this badass canvas tent. That's base camp wherever I park my truck. And then go from there, out of the backpack. And hopefully I don't ever see that canvas tent. But if I need to come back and crash, there's a nice cot in it.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's chill. Yeah.
And that's what I was like, look, man, I need something that I can.
And, that's badass.
Yeah, we're
Take
going to
the family out in it.
Oh,
too.
yeah. Oh, yeah. My wife is already like sending me videos of different vans that are fancy. And I'm like, listen, this thing, there's going to be blood and mud everywhere. I can't have this white wall. You got all these white sheets in here. What is this?
Yeah.
I told the guy that's helping me build it out, I was like, listen, I want to be able to just take a hose and spray the whole thing out. Like,
You know what you should do, if you can, is have them put a hanging cooler in the back.
They are.
So you could hang.
They are.
That'd
Yeah,
be
they are.
fucking
We're
dope.
working on some things there.
Yeah.
I actually talked to Yeti about it too, and they sent me some coolers that I can try out. Those 250, those big 250s.
Yeah.
You could fit 2 elk in those. So
Right.
because I plan on hopefully having 2 guys, at least two shooters in there, keeping that thing full. So. But they sent me some coolers, and I was like, yeah, this could work, because then you could put them. They're out of the way when you don't need them. I could just.
Yeah, you can move them in and out.
You
right?
put a freezer back there. It's like permanently there, and it's in the way.
Right.
And the way it works with these vans
Double
is
as
the
a
back
shower.
is like, right. The back of it is like a garage. So you want the back to be like the garage, and then it goes into like the living room, and then the kitchen in the front. So, and then sleeping up top. So that's the way I'm setting it
Yeah,
up.
that'll be a sweet rig.
It's
man.
gonna be cool.
Be awesome. So you're headed down to New Mexico and this September?
Yeah, the 5th,
Okay.
the 5th through the 10th. I got a mule deer tag, and
Nice.
then like I said, I got the bear tag down there too. And then the 14th through the 20th, I'm going down to Unit 34 elk.
Nice.
So it's gonna be
Yeah.
it's gonna be sick.
That's great. Do you have some land that you're hunting on down there, or is it public land?
It's
or-
it's public land. It's all public.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Cool. So getting into the radio game a little bit too, huh? Doing some commentary. Is that like
Yeah.
locally here in Denver?
Yeah,
or-
local stuff, and then I'll do some national stuff as well, and then eventually work into TV and stuff like that. So
There you go.
If it was if it was me, I would just hunt. My wife said I'm too young. I'm only 32, so my wife was like, "You're too young to just not work," and I was like, "All right." So, but
Just
if I could
keeping
show
you
her,
in line,
but if I
huh?
show her that I could, if I monetize this hunting game, then
There you go.
maybe I can get out of all that stuff and just hunt full time. That would be an awesome dream. Like that would.
Yeah.
You want to talk about making dreams? I already made one dream come true. I can make this one come true too.
Hell yeah. Let's talk about that a little bit, man. Like, I know you grew up in Ohio, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. You said that. Played ball in Cincinnati, right?
Mm-hmm.
For college.
Yeah.
How did you kind of dive into football in general, like from a young age? Was it just something that you always played? Did your dad play and, demand you played?
Well, I started playing when I was 7, full contact football at 7 years old. And I just the first time I stepped out, I loved the violence of it. Like I just loved how aggressive you could be. And my coaches were like, go hit him, just hit everything. And I'm like, all right. And so I just was naturally good at it. It was just that's the thing about football is you either have that ability to be the hammer and not the nail, or you're the nail and you don't like it, Right. That's just kind of the way it goes. But I got into it when I was 7, and I just from the first time I played, I was like, this is what I want to do. I don't want to do anything else. So everything I did, literally since till now, everything I did was for football. Anytime I go into class, the only motivation I had to go to class or school, from that young of an age was just to be eligible to play football. So it's
right.
Everything I did was for football. So I focused all my energy on this one thing. And hunting was a passion of mine as a kid too. I loved to hunt, but I couldn't do it in the fall because I was playing football.
Yeah, those two do not align.
And it rolled. I wrestled too, so it rolled right into wrestling. So it's those. It's just tough to get. I get a hunt in here and there, but I just never got to do it full time. My buddies were out there killing these giant bucks, but I'm like, yeah, you get to sit. You get to sit at the prime times. I'm at a wrestling tournament. You're out there.
Right.
You're out there sitting in a tree stand, dude. It's not fair. And he's yeah, I get it.
I played football a little bit in high school, and that was always my complaint is I could never hunt because it was. It's every weekend. It's every night after school. It's
it's demanding.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a demanding sport. And then I went to college. I went to college, and it was just there was no time.
Nonstop.
You get 2 weeks off a year. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it was, and I would slip back up because I'm from Northeast Ohio. So I would slip back home, and I would get a quick little archery hunt in and just shoot the first buck that came in,
right.
Just shoot the first deer that came in. Cause it was hey, don't shoot any does, but if you see a goofy looking buck, go ahead and shoot him. So my buddies would just stick me in the area where their trail cameras were showing goofy bucks that they wanted off the property. So I didn't even get to hunt.
That's not even really hunting if you can only go in for a couple days, right? Because part of it is getting out there, connecting with nature, having that time.
And there's nothing worse than a rushed hunt, right? Where you're rushed. It's it's not fun. I want to be out there and enjoy it for a little bit. And then when I went to, and that was the other thing, being here in Denver, I got drafted to Denver, and it was people are talking about draw units and this and that. And I was like, what are you talking about? What is a draw unit? I was like,
totally different.
I'm like,
right?
dude, I'd go to Walmart, buy my deer tag, and we go hunt. That's just the way it goes.
Right. Is there a lot of public land in Ohio?
Oh, a ton of it, yeah. A ton of public, yeah.
Yeah, because some states like Texas has 0 public land.
Right, it's all private. It's all private ranches.
Yeah, you got to have permission to go hunt anywhere.
Yeah, or you're paying,
Right.
And they'll they'll charge you $4,000 to go kill a whitetail. It blows my mind.
That's crazy.
I don't know. I get it because they put there's a lot of money that goes into taking care of those deer and getting those deer to grow and managing them, and it's a lot of money that goes into it. But
yeah,
some of these prices for these hunts are just come on, man. You're making it inaccessible to anybody. You know?
That's insane. I don't know. I've never really been a whitetail hunter. I guess probably just because I haven't done it enough.
There's no whitetail here,
Yeah. There's some out east, I think, but not very many.
No, you go to Kansas. It's the best. It's the best in the country, really. I mean, that's where you want to hunt them.
Yeah,
is in Kansas, down to southeast Kansas.
I love hunting elk, man. That's the one thing.
Well, this is going to be my first elk hunt. That's why I'm so jacked up about it, because everybody I talk to that elk hunts, and especially from back east, I got buddies that they pile up in a rig and come all the way out to Montana and stay for 14 days, and they're like, dude, once you elk hunt, you're going to never want to whitetail hunt again. You're not going to.
That's kind of how I am. I don't want to leave Colorado in September ever, and that's probably why I don't go to Alaska and some of these spots. And I know you can go a little bit earlier and later in the year and stuff, but it's
you could do some cool stuff in Alaska in August. You could do a drop camp caribou hunt. I'm working on one of those for next year. Nice. Caribou and grizzly.
Mark's up there right now. I know. Think. Yeah, when
grizzly
I was texting him the other day to see if we could get up there. That's wild.
Yeah, dude. It's going to be sick.
I can't wait to hear that story.
Daggers. This thing's got daggers for claws. Right. It's crazy. I would love to. I'm really looking forward to getting on one of those hunts. So hopefully next year or two I'll be able to do that.
We were just talking about on the last podcast what was worse, a shark attack or a grizzly attack, or how to get eaten, but those things scare the shit out of me.
Sharks scare the shit out of me. Yeah. I'm more comfortable with a bear.
Yeah, I am too.
Because like a bear, if you posture with a bear, you got a good chance of them like, all right, I'm not messing with this guy.
Right.
But if
Especially
a shark doesn't
guy
care,
our size, like
a shark doesn't care. Like a great white shark, a 20-foot long great white shark is just going to come in there and take half your body away real quick and spit it out and be like, ugh,
Right.
They're just taking a nibble and they take half your leg off.
Yeah. I don't know why this keeps coming up, but maybe it's going to be my demise. But no, it'd be rad to get up into Alaska or something and do a brown bear hunt. Like that would be epic.
Epic. I would love to do that.
Be awesome. So yeah, I think that you're going to have a blast on your elk hunt, man. I mean, that's truly why I don't leave. The only other hunt that I want to do is a bison hunt. So I might have to talk to you after this. Yeah. About what you did down in New Mexico. And
it was pretty cool. I mean, it was you're driving around on county roads pretty much all day, just spotting, stalking, putting a stalk on, and they're not stupid. Like they're not going to let you just walk up to them.
Too, yeah.
And they run 40 miles an hour, so like you get kind of close, and they're like, "Yep, see ya," and they get out of there, and then they're like, "Because I'm not going to shoot at 100 yards, I'm not going to shoot one, right?"
Right.
But at like 30 to 70, I'll shoot.
How hard was it to get that tag?
So it was a private land tag.
Okay.
My wife actually, I don't know how she got it, but she gifted it to me. It was a gift.
Really?
Yeah, it was a
good wife.
She gifted my elk hunt to me too, because that was another private land tag. Yeah, because I was like, I tried to draw. She was like, you can try to draw, but I'll buy the tag for you if you don't get it. And I was like, sweet.
Hell yeah.
So she was like, you just retired. You can have the whole month of September to go hunt, but you ain't doing that shit ever again. Yeah. I was like, all right.
Oh, look at those claws, man.
Yo, my God.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's what dreams are made of right there. Just a huge bear.
Look at the size of that thing.
Look at the head on that thing.
My goodness, dude.
Dude, one swipe and your face is gone.
Yeah.
I always think about that Tim Wells hunt when he stuck that grizzly in the forehead and dropped it.
I haven't seen that.
You got to watch that.
Really?
Yeah, he shoots.
Jeremy, see if you can look that up. Was it Tim Wells?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tim Wells grizzly hunt. He shoots it right in the forehead and drops it.
Really?
It was like coming right at him.
Wow.
Shit was wild.
With
Think
a bow?
about.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, this is an hour long.
Yeah. Fast forward.
That's crazy. I think that there's an old story about it was either Pope and Young or Saxton Pope or one of those guys like shot a grizzly through his eye. Same sort of deal. It was charging him.
Yeah.
And he hit it in the eye. Straight to the brain.
Which is insane. You want to talk about an adrenaline rush. I think it's right there. Go back a little bit maybe.
So how long ago is this? This 2020 is when the video is posted. Looks a little bit older than that though, doesn't it?
The footage looks older. But
Yeah.
It's, is this
Whoa,
him?
he's got a longbow too,
Yeah,
huh?
this is him. Look at this bear.
Oh my God, what a psycho.
He's chasing him. Bow!
What?
Dropped him. You see that thing looking at him like, what are you doing?
That is crazy. In the blue flannel too.
Well, because if you miss right there, that bear's coming after you.
Oh yeah.
He was already looking at him like, what the hell are you doing here?
Go back for a second, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Does he have a pistol on his hip? But still, I mean, to draw your pistol that fast, good luck.
Yeah, he's got one on his hip.
Yeah. You kind of have to if you're that crazy.
Oh,
We
yeah.
know the flannel is hilarious.
He's crazy.
Probably got a cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
He's nuts, man. That guy's crazy.
It's a red for sure.
That guy's wild to me. He does some
That's
wild
wild,
shit.
dude. I'm glad you told us about that. I've never seen that before. That's fucking nuts. Yeah, I wouldn't get that crazy with it.
I would. I'd do it.
Yeah?
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I would do it.
Did you see his buddy smiling? Oh yeah, this keeps on.
Crazy.
That's epic.
Shit. bit right here.
So Vaughn's a big hunter though too, right?
Yeah.
Like he hunts a lot of whitetail.
Yeah.
I've seen some
axis
of his
deer.
posts
He does a
and
lot of
stuff.
Texas hunting. So he kills a lot of axis deer, and I mean that's the best meat, really. The axis meat is unreal.
I've had it a couple times, and it's incredible. I'd love to get out to Lanai and do that one out there. That'd be a good list for the show, you know.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Put that one on the list.
Yeah,
Get out
for
to
sure.
Hawaii for a minute.
Well, Hawaii is so cool, man, because they said they're loaded with them, just loaded. Nobody really hunts them there. People that live there don't really hunt them. It's just like the locals, just like, they don't got a lot of people don't think.
And there's
like,
no predators there either,
none.
right?
They have no predators. Yeah,
it's
so
an
you can
invasive
actually
species.
You can actually spot and stalk them. But because I've tried to spot and stalk axis before, it's fucking awful.
Right.
It's you get like 70 yards. They have like this buffer, this like 100-yard buffer where like they can like sense you. It's weird.
And they're super fast too,
right?
right?
They take off, gone.
They're, I think they're, where are they from originally? I think it's
Asia.
India, right?
India,
or Asia.
India or Asia, one of those. Yeah.
So they're fast enough to get away from tigers. I would imagine they're pretty fucking fast.
Yeah.
You mentioned having DeMarcus Ware on. You have some other guys.
I got a couple other guys that we're gonna try to get on.
All kind of from the football world.
Football, country artists. Michael Ray said he would come with me. Brantley Gilbert he'll probably come do a whitetail hunt with me for sure. Let me think of some other guys here that we got.
Well, don't give away too many spoiler alerts.
Yeah, I'll get Cerrone to come do one with me. He'll do one.
Cowboy?
Yeah.
Okay.
He told if you want to do a bison hunt, he said he'll let you kill. He's got a bunch of bison at his property. Yeah, he said he'll let you kill one.
Really?
Hell yeah.
All right.
He was like, you should have came down here. I'll let you kill one for free. And I'm like,
shit. Maybe I'll have to hit him up then. I might take you up on that. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I think that'll be what a great show. And with the people that you know and your connections, and
yeah,
I'll watch it.
Well, I think it'll also, like, because to me, one of the most important parts of this to me is like, because I get a lot of flack from people that don't really understand hunting. They don't understand what it means. What they think we're just out there killing just to kill, like we're some kind of sociopath that wants to just go kill. And yeah, I want to kill, right? Like I want to get a kill. I want to harvest an animal, but I'm not just killing the first thing that walks by me. I'm going to harvest an older, like especially with elk, right? I'm going to harvest an older bull, like same with whitetail. I'm not just going to kill, like I'm not killing does and babies. I'm killing the big buck that's been there for 7 years and he's chasing everything else out of there.
Right.
We're going to take him, right? And we're going to eat him. And everything we kill is getting eaten. Same with the bears. If you don't manage these bear populations, they come in there and they start killing the cubs.
Yeah.
Up to 2 years old, they'll kill these cubs. And that just to get the sow back in the heat.
We're having that problem here in Colorado too. Ever since they outlawed like spring bear hunting, it's Colorado Parks and Wildlife is basically giving away tags to any unit. I mean, you see that bear paw in the regs. It's crazy. You can get a bear tag just about anywhere now.
Yeah, I bought a Colorado bear tag this year
Nice.
just so I can try to slip up to some private land here, and somebody wants a bear taken. Let me go. If anybody out there got a bear that needs taken, let me come get him.
That's awesome. And I'm sure that you're taking, being a hunter and all that, and the way that you're explaining it, I'm sure that you're eating the meat or giving it away at least.
Oh, yeah, I'm eating it, giving it away. I mean, it's both, right? Because you get, like that bison, right? That was almost 700 pounds of meat.
Was it? Damn,
so I probably
awesome.
gave, I'd use it for trade even. Like my pool guy that comes in, work and keeps my pool running because it's always, that's the other thing about a pool. It's always breaking. I'll just be like, here, have some bear meat, man, or here's some bison. He's like, all right, sweet. He's like, I don't have to go to the grocery store now. So like when you know where your meat's coming from too, that's
the biggest part for me, right? Because you think about, and you kind of grew up in a farm community, right?
Oh,
we
yeah.
didn't really go down that path just yet, but yeah, diving back into your background a little bit, like you've seen how animals are processed sometimes.
It's disgusting.
It's not the cleanest thing.
It's disgusting.
I like knowing where my meat came from. And lately I've been on this crazy diet where I'm eating pretty much nothing but meat. So my freezers are dry at the moment. I've eaten through what I killed last year. It's urgent for me to get an animal this year just because I don't want to go to the grocery store and buy stuff. And if I do, even if I am buying meat, I'm doing it from a third party, a reputable thing. Like I use Colorado Craft Beef. They're awesome. They're just out, kind of out east. I can't remember where they're at. anyway, shout out to those guys. They have awesome. You can drive out to the ranch and buy half a cow if you want, basically. Nice. Yeah, fucking good people. And super smart on the agricultural side of it and the way that they're raising the animals and stuff. So I feel comfortable about that because they're doing 100% of the processing and everything right there at the ranch.
Yeah.
Right? But you go to the grocery store and buy that stuff
where that
that's
cow came
dyed
from.
red or whatever. I mean, when you get this beef, like when I get a steak, like tenderloins from them or something, they're like purple.
Yeah.
Right? It's how it's supposed to look. It looks like elk
it's
or
not
deer.
supposed to look red.
Right? It's brown. Yeah.
It's not supposed to look red.
Akron. That's right. So that's not that
It
far.
blows my mind what they'll do. I mean, it's with everything, anything mainstream, right?
Yeah.
Even like I learned this. I was down in Dunton Hot Springs doing a wine on the fly with my wife because she likes to fly fish. So she was like, "Let's go fly fishing and drink some wine." I was like, "Sweet, let's do it." So we drove down there, and awesome place, Dunton Hot Springs. Their fish camp is incredible. I mean, it's expensive as hell, but it was worth it because I had a ton of fun. But there was a small winery from Napa that was telling us about all the chemicals that these like big box wine companies are putting in their wine.
I'm sure.
It's like 200 different chemicals to keep the viscosity and the texture and the taste and the smell. It's all chemicals.
Wow.
So that's why you feel so shitty the next day. And I drank like a half a bottle of their wine and I was up in the morning, fine. I didn't even feel like I drank.
Really?
And I was like, that shows you right there that they're not lying. They're putting all kinds of shit in this
there's
wine.
chemicals and preservatives in fucking everything, man. Like, and that's why I've pretty much strictly gone on a wild game diet.
I'd rather eat wild game. Yeah. The problem is you got this chronic waste going.
Right. That's
which is
a big
scary,
issue
right?
too, yeah.
Which is like, you harvest an animal, it's got chronic waste. It's all, you can't eat it.
Right.
You can't eat that stuff. It's not worth. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't.
Yeah, you shouldn't. And the way that it's spreading too, like it's not getting any smaller.
And that's all due to too many animals. There's too many animals. That's the crazy thing. These so-called conservationists, they're like, that hunters are conservationists.
Right.
Like we're funding the entire thing, right? Hunters
100%.
are funding the entire show.
I don't think that anybody cares more about animals than hunters either, right?
Because
Like,
if there's no animals, there's nothing to hunt.
exactly. So. And I think a big part of it, we've had Colorado Parks and Wildlife in, several game wardens, biologists and stuff like that. And a big part of it is from people feeding deer too. So like if you're baiting deer for hunting purposes, which is illegal, that in the state of Colorado anyways, that helps spread it. A lot of people are feeding these deer by hand off their porch. Like it happens around here all the time, right? Because they just don't know any better, I don't think. I think that they see like a cute animal. But we've had a couple instances where I live just over here, not far from here, off the golf course. And I've had a buck come up to my sliding glass door, like looking for food, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh, yeah. The mule deer around here, they come right up to you. They don't care.
Yeah.
It's wild. So, you never see a whitetail do that.
So, yeah. And I know that helps spread it too, right? Is a big factor of it. But salt licks, all that sort of stuff are really bad for that chronic wasting disease. And we never used to have it here in Colorado. I guess it's been kind of transmitted in through other states or whatever.
I'm sure.
And so, yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that they can somehow get a handle on it. And there's certain ways that you can do it is, reporting if you see animals that look like they might have it, they want to know pretty much right away.
Yeah.
And then also turning in your hunt animals so they can get a real grasp like, hey, it's spreading faster here. Maybe we need to thin out.
The herd needs to be thinned
out or something, right?
So let's give away some more tags. Right. And that's why they're trying to introduce the wolves back here.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, why?
Yeah, and that's the whole thing is that went to the ballot box,
Yeah.
And it wasn't really because you talk to any biologist and we did 3 full episodes on it. And they're like, it's not really a good idea. If you talk to any of those wildlife biologists.
They will destroy the herd.
Right.
They will decimate it.
Yeah.
We don't want to decimate it. We just want to thin it.
There's multiple ways, too, that they destroy. They also, wolves carry disease in their scat. And there's this other disease that hydatid that we learned about that's even more frightening to me than CWD.
Really?
Yeah.
What does it do?
It's a parasite.
Oh,
So it ruins everything, the meat,
it's so
everything.
gnarly.
And it's transferable to humans too. So even if you're out like mowing your lawn and you mow your lawn and maybe a wolf shit or whatever,
You
can
run it
get
over
the
and it
high
kicks
data
up.
from that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And it is a nasty ass disease. So yeah, there's a lot to it's pretty gnarly. And I know that they've had some confirmed cases like up in Montana and stuff like that. And it's very similar to CWD. But yeah, it's nasty stuff. And I think that there's some great organizations out there that actually will give you education on what these are. And I just urge people to get educated before you vote on something like this, especially when it comes to biological stuff and wildlife habitats.
Well, think about when they do these votes, right? Like, where are the most people located? Denver and Boulder.
Right. Yeah.
That you think you think any of those people want to even learn about hunting?
No.
You know, they don't even want to learn about it. They just think that you're immediately a murderer.
Yeah.
But then they'll go down to the street and go to a restaurant and order a cheeseburger.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's the same.
They have no idea where it came from. They have no idea how it died.
That's an elk liver right there. Yeah. With the hide at it.
Yeah, it's not good stuff. And basically the meat's ruined. Like, so if you shoot one or something, like you don't even want to be around it, honestly.
Right.
Like field dressing it, you can get this thing. So it's not good. And, CWD I don't think is transferable to humans, or they don't think it is right as of right now. So this is a bit more scary to me. Neither of them are good. But also, I mean, back to your point kind of about the population that's living in Denver and Boulder, even if those people are living in Denver and Boulder and they want wolves here because they think that they're cool or they think it's a better way to manage wildlife, they also need to understand the ethics for the wolf in general. I mean, is it fair to them? They're being pulled out of a place where they have no human interaction.
Yeah.
And thrown into a state with 7 million people and highways running all over it, right? Not to mention, I can guarantee you, I don't care what protections in line, if they're running onto a ranch and killing cattle, at some point those animals are going to be put down, whether it's by the rancher doing it illegally or Colorado Parks and Wildlife having to do something with them, right? So, I mean, there are depredations.
Well, that's someone's livelihood.
Like, yeah.
That's somebody's livelihood that they're disrupting.
Yeah.
If you can't keep your cows alive, you can't. Yeah, because there's a big argument right now going on whether these ranchers should be allowed to shoot them or not.
Right.
If it was a coyote, they wouldn't say a word about it, right?
Right now, it's completely illegal because they're on the endangered list, right? And it keeps going back and forth too. So there's that whole confusion. We already have wolves here to begin with,
right?
Like they've already migrated out of Wyoming into Colorado. Like
it's not that far for a wolf to travel that. That's not.
No, that's not at all.
Yeah, they introduced them into Yellowstone, which I'm pretty sure they introduced them up there because it was the ecosystem was getting just destroyed because the elk herds were just eating all the grasses, right?
Because they weren't being hunted.
They weren't being hunted. Why don't you just let people go hunt them and you just manage it? You can manage this, and it's not only are you managing the herd, but you're getting money that goes back into the conservation of the wildlife.
Well, and here's kind of a crazy thought: like humans have been around, maybe not as long as wolves, right? In the spec, but we've been hunting for thousands of years.
Yeah,
and just recently, in the last 100 years, or not even 100 years. It's totally unacceptable now in a lot of people's eyes. You know what I mean? So it's like, and to start, I understand why there have to be laws in place, right? So you don't end up into a market hunting situation that happened like in the 1800s. And it was bad. We can all agree that that's fucking bad, right? Yeah. Like that's not good, but that was also how people were surviving.
Right.
They weren't raising cattle and stuff like we do now. There wasn't factory farming, they were just trying to feed a population.
Trying to feed people and if you look at those old pictures, you see them. They go on an elk hunt for 2 weeks and they come out with like 50 elk. It's like holy, and the same with the bison, right? They just were smacking bison, leaving the meat and taking the fur.
Yeah.
So it's like 100 bison dead in the field.
Yeah, no, that's always the iconic scene from Dances with Wolves, right? Where it's just like all the skin bison, all the meat rotting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's horrible. That's not good.
Yeah, you don't want to see
There's
stuff
also
like
that photo of the mountain of like bison skulls. Have you ever seen that from the 1800s? Jeremy, see if you can find that. It's a pretty iconic photo, but it goes to show you how they were being wiped out. Yeah, look at this, Derek. This is insane. Where'd it go?
Wi-Fi's crap. Shit in the bed today. There it is.
There it is.
Wow.
Not insane.
It's like impossible to comprehend.
Yeah.
So wait,
How do you stack it perfectly like that? Have you ever been to the catacombs in France?
No.
It's pretty wild.
Have you been down there?
Yeah.
So I've been to France, and we were gonna go do it, but my wife was like, I'm claustrophobic. I don't like being in tight
Yeah, you
spaces
probably
like that.
wouldn't like it then.
I wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
But
No, it's human remains that they built the
Yeah.
catacombs out of, and it is pretty trippy, man.
I bet it is.
Yeah. I got
That's
some
creepy as
epic
hell.
photos from there.
That's so creepy to me.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it was a good time. Because you start thinking about that. Behind every one of those skulls is a family or
Right.
brothers, sisters, kids, who knows? Yeah, it's pretty frightening.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's wild.
This Wi-Fi sucks today. I was looking for the number. I could have sworn that they had a number on here last time I looked
Of
at
how
this
many
picture.
people?
Yeah. No,
Oh.
people. No, I was looking at the
At the bison skulls?
at the stack. Yeah. I don't know why my screen keeps.
Yeah, market hunting's definitely not good, but I think humans have been involved in hunting since there were woolly mammoths running around,
Yeah.
right? They've proven that.
Yeah.
So I think we're an integral part of the ecosystem, whether you agree with it or not. And it's honestly the best way to manage a population.
It is. It really is. I mean,
You have to follow the rules. You have to go and get a tag. It's creating revenue. It pays for 90% of these national parks. And
yeah, the
all
trail
these
building,
different
all that stuff is paid for by
The-
hunters.
I can never say this. Robertson Act. Like, I don't know if you know about that, but a portion of every hunting rifle sold, bow, you bought your broadheads, backpacks from Kafaro, a portion of that goes to a national fund to help fund
Yeah.
conservation and wildlife and parks and
So why not let people hunt? Why do they want to stop people from hunting so bad? I don't get it.
I don't understand it either. I think it's just miseducation, and I think there's a little bit of sinister shit going on behind it too. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
I think that
Absolutely.
it's not going to be good for the environment, and that's always the argument, that it's good for the environment, right? But it's going to destroy it even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're destroying an environment by
elk fart too.
That's true.
They're chewing on grass all day, farting too. They want to kill all the beef cattle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they don't want to let people come hunt an elk.
I know.
It makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
No sense. I mean, you got deer. This place is so. I mean, go to Estes Park or something like that, right? Like they're down in Colorado Springs.
Well, even right here in Evergreen,
here in Evergreen. I mean, it's like all these places where there's no hunting allowed. They're just overrun by animals that are gonna get sick. Nothing dies naturally in the wild, right? Like nothing just gets old and has a peaceful death
unless they're shot by a hunter.
Right. Exactly. Which blows my mind, man. Why don't you let people? Like, why are you fighting so hard to stop? Like, I understand, like, if you're vegan, go ahead. That's your choice. Don't force that on me.
Right.
Like, don't try to force me to eat plants like you do and bugs and all other bullshit that's going on.
Yeah, and stuff dies for that too, right? Stuff dies to make a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
Right? Think about what those animals and stuff that live in those fields.
In those wheat fields, yeah.
So yeah, there's a big argument there. I wish it wasn't such a debate. I wish that people would just leave each other fucking alone.
Leave me alone. I'll leave you alone, and we can fucking go live our lives. Like, I'm not affecting you at all.
Yeah, like these assholes that are going into grocery stores and just pouring milk out onto the floor. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
like
like
it's like what
now.
does that
Now it was all
accomplish?
in vain.
Yeah.
Now that cow was milked for no reason, literally for no reason, just so you could dump it on the that does nothing, and it does. And to the company that you're trying to make a point to, now they get to, now they're like, okay, great, they need more milk. They're gonna buy more milk from us.
It's so dumb.
You're fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Like just totally
it's the dumbest shit ever.
dumb as fuck. Super glue your hand to a fucking counter. Like what?
Right.
Now our taxpayer money is getting wasted on some fucking guy that has to go take that off. You know. It's like
no, it's retarded.
fucking stupid.
I know I can't use that word either.
Yeah, this politically correctness bullshit.
Well, we're not on here, and that's why I have the podcast too, man. Is I think that that's a great part to your show. That you can have.
Oh yeah,
and you can say whatever you want on it because there's no producers or anything involved, right? Like you and I can just sit here and bullshit. That's all we're doing right now.
Exactly.
Right?
That's
like,
That's why I love podcasting, because it's like there's no bullshit behind it, right? It's just
Right.
two guys fucking having a good time. You know, a couple dudes in a studio just fucking chopping it up.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about, man. That's what people want to hear. They want to hear the real shit. They don't want to hear some, story that you made up or some, what they call it, sugar-coated fucking bullshit that you come up with. Like, they don't want to hear that.
100%.
People don't want to hear. They want to hear the real.
I don't want to hear that either. Like
Me
most of
neither.
the ones that I listen to it's all just real people, and real conversations. And
Exactly.
I've had some people before hit me up and they're like, "Hey, can you send me a list of questions?" And I'm like, there really isn't. I don't know.
Shit's gonna be organic, right? It's got to be organic.
There's going to be some pauses. Yes, we're going to go look at grizzlies. We're going to look at mounds of buffalo skulls. But
Yeah.
the conversation could go anywhere, right?
Right.
Speaking of the R word, did you see these guys yesterday they put their feet in cement and they were protesting outside of Starbucks in Nashville
Oh my God.
because the soy milk costs more than the cream, or there's an upcharge for soy lattes.
Maybe
So
they
they
stop
were-
acting like such pussies if they stop eating all that soy.
Wow. So
Yeah.
they cemented their shoes to the sidewalk.
Well, it looks like
That
they
was
just dropped it
smart.
on the asphalt.
Well, I'm telling you, I think that like the soy and the seed oils
seed
that they're
oils and
putting,
everything,
like,
yeah.
that shit is making people fucking
Weird and soft.
Yeah.
weird and soft, and it's like, I don't know, I don't want to
It
offend.
it makes them feel.
I don't. I have a hard time feeling we got any transgenders listening to this, but I feel like that has something to do with like this huge influx of people being transgender, right? Like
It wouldn't
it's got to be
surprise me. I
the
mean,
food
there's
and
a
the
ton of-
vaccines and all the other bullshit that people like. That's like kids, right? You have a perfectly normal
It's
kid, then they get
chemicals,
stuck with all
man.
these vaccines, and a year later they have autism. It's like,
Right.
well, that wasn't from the vaccine.
Right.
Oh, it wasn't from the chemtrails and the vaccine and all the other bullshit you're putting in our water and the fluoride and like all that shit matters, man. And we're not supposed to
Yeah.
have that shit in our bloodstream.
And that's just it. You don't know probably for hundreds of years until something's affecting a population,
Right.
right? Like, you're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, cigarettes are bad.
Yeah, it's like ancient Rome, right? They're like, oh, throwing dead bodies in the fucking water probably wasn't a good idea.
Right.
Like they didn't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you
fucking-
can't even drink rainwater. I just learned that last week.
Yeah, you can't drink rainwater.
Forget about it. It's over.
I think it's illegal to store rainwater in Colorado.
Is it?
I think they lifted that.
Did they lift that?
Well,
now that it's
I'll
not
find out
safe
for
to
sure.
drink, yeah, they lifted
Yeah,
it. Right?
exactly. They're like, oh shit. Yeah, get rid of it. You guys can drink all you want of this stuff.
But you've decided to stay here after your career, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My wife is from Cheyenne,
Oh, okay.
so she loves it here. Colorado's like her. That's like her thing, and I love it here too. So it works out.
Yeah. Well, Denver loves you, man. As a football fan, I know that you were well received here, I think.
Yeah.
And you probably felt some of that love, I would
Oh
imagine.
yeah, big time, man. I love this place. That's why I stayed here when after my 4th season, I signed a new contract here to stay because I was like, why the fuck would I leave here, man? It's awesome.
Right.
The fans are fucking awesome here. Like I get shown so much love everywhere I go, and still to this day, I go out and people show me a ton of love. I go to a concert, Red Rocks. People are like, fuck yeah, let's fucking, it's like, all right, let's party, let's have fun.
Yeah, that's great.
And I've always just like to me, like some guys get a big ego about this shit, right? Like I've had teammates that are egos just through the roof, right? And it's like, I'm like, bro, like we play football. Like that's all, like we fucking play football. Like you're not some kind of fucking super scientist that, cured anything. Like you just fucking good at football. Like people idolize us as football players, and it's like, to me, that's a great honor. Like I'm like, that's such an honor to me. If somebody wants my autograph or a picture of me, I'm like, fuck, all right. Why do you want a picture of me? Like it blows my mind that people even want to listen to me talk.
That's a great outlook, man. It's I think that with that sort of outlook, you'll be a lot happier in life.
Yeah.
Than dealing with like, fuck, you're getting pissed off every time somebody wants to talk to you. Or
yeah, but why
like
would
that,
you
right?
get mad? Why would I get mad? Because like I think about, especially with kids, right? If when I was a kid, like if I got to meet somebody that played in the NFL, I'd be like,
It's a
holy
big
shit,
deal,
man,
right?
this is cool as hell, Like, but if he's a dick, like,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna forget that.
I was fortunate where my grandparents live. Tom Jackson, that used to
Yeah.
play for the Broncos, lived right down the street, and I used to go bug the shit out of him, dude. He probably was like, "Oh, it's this fucking kid again." And I remember him being like, "You remember the old like brick cell phones?"
Yeah.
He was like in a hot tub in his house that was like in his living room, and he was like on one of those brick cell
Yeah.
phones, and I'd be like, go knock on a sliding glass door, and he'd be like, "Come on in." And he was fucking cool as shit, man. He came to like a little league game, I think, and he went to one of my uncles was in high school playing football at the time here at Evergreen.
Nice.
And he went to a couple of those games just to show some support and
Yeah,
love,
man.
and love for the community. So super cool. And, most of the guys that I've met have been super humble, I think.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, bro. If you get a chance to meet them, that's why you got a chance to meet them, because they're humble dudes. These other guys, they're inaccessible.
Right.
And that they're not doing anything for free. You know what I mean? They're not just going to show up anywhere for free and all that shit. Like I don't know. I just never understood that. Like it's just, I understand monetizing your fame, but at some point, like be a human, right? Like fucking go interact with the other humans. And it's like
I've been around a
crazy
ton
to
of
me.
rock stars too in my line of work, and it for the most part, most of them are just genuinely good people,
Good dudes.
And if you treat them like a human,
Right.
you know what I mean? That's the other thing too. How many times do you have somebody come up to you that's, in that starstruck mode, or ask you a stupid question, or ask you to do something stupid, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
like
not cool.
when people come up to me like, "Hey, can you like in the grocery store? Hey, can you give us a howl?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm not gonna fucking howl in the grocery store." Like,
Right.
I'm in Sprouts right now, man. I'm not fucking howling, or King Supers or something. Like, I'm not fucking howling right here. But that's the other thing, man. It's like grown men that act really weird.
Really?
Like these grown men that are just really weird. They show up, they'll like come follow you around and show up with like a bag full of shit for you to sign. It's like, dude, I'm not signing all this shit. Come on. I'll sign a picture for you, take a picture with you, and we'll move on with our day.
Right.
I got like my 3-year-old with me, and they're like, "Hey, can you do this and that?" And I'm like, "Dude,
Do they interrupt you like during meals? And
yeah,
stuff? Is that
people
hard
do
to-
stuff like that, but it's not a big deal to me. Like,
Right.
it's whatever, Like I said, it's like I'm just honored that people even give a shit,
Yeah. No, that's we're happy to have you here in Denver, and I really enjoyed watching you play football. What was it like getting that call from John?
It was weird because I never. So here's a little story. I was a Green Bay fan growing up. I was a Packers fan. Like that was Brett Favre and Reggie White and that fucking
Yeah.
97 Super Bowl
I
team.
think there was a lot of people. I think there was people in Denver that were too. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
So like that 98 game when the Broncos win, I was fucking pissed. I was devastated. I was like,
Right.
no, like I can't believe. Or 97, 97,
Yeah.
98, because the Green Bay won at 96 against.
I was so jacked. The
Yeah.
helicopter touchdown from Elway, and just that was
I was
a hell
fucking
of a Super Bowl,
devastated.
too.
Devastated. I was young kid. I was devastated. I was crying. I was pissed. I was like, this is bullshit. Like, I was like, they're supposed to win the game because the announcer. It was probably kind of like how it was Super Bowl 50. They were talking about how Carolina was going to stomp us, and we ended up kicking their ass. So he was like, I was like, listening to the announcers, and they're talking about how Green Bay should take this game easy. It should be a good game for them. And nope, fucking John Elway out there with fucking 2 torn ACLs, fucking making it happen, right? So it was like I cried then, and
then back to back.
Yeah, then he calls me. Yeah, I had no idea Denver was even on the radar.
Okay.
But Jack Del Rio I had a lot of talks with him at the Combine, at the Senior Bowl and stuff like that. And Jack Del Rio, and I didn't know he got hired at Denver. So when I see a Denver number calling me on draft day, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Who's calling me from Denver? And I answer, like, hey, Derek, it's John Elway. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, we're going to draft you here at 36. I was like, all right, sweet. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. And it was weird because I had to sleep at the airport that night because, because where I'm from, it's an hour from the airport. So my flight was at 6 a.m. I was like, fuck it. Let's just go straight to the airport and I'll just sleep there. And so I put a suit on and went and fell asleep and
showed up with no hair. I remember that.
Yeah, showed up fucking bald. They cut my hair with horse clippers because I lived on a Black Angus farm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the family that I lived with is black. They were farmers and fucking out of control. It was just out of control. Crazy shit going on there. It was fun. But yeah, I show up and I'm like, you know, it was weird because I was getting treated like a first-round pick, but I was a second-round pick. But I was the Broncos' first pick that year, you know what I mean? Right. But I was really a second-round pick, and there was 3 of us there. It was me, Brock Osweiler, and Ronnie Hillman. And yeah, it was fucking cool, man. It was really cool. And then as soon as I got the phone with John, I was in Ohio. Somebody's like, "Hey, you know Peyton just fucking signed there." And I was like, "Peyton who?" And they're like, "Peyton Manning." I was like, "No fucking
same
way."
Year, right?
I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's go." I was like, "We're gonna win a Super Bowl." Yeah. I was like, "We're definitely gonna win a Super Bowl. It's gonna be sick." And we really probably should have had like 3 Super Bowls in that 4 years. The one we went to,
your first 4 years were
awesome. Awesome. Such a fucking awesome time, dude. Like incredible. Everything after that was shit because it was so fucking fun.
Yeah. And you spent a majority of your career. I mean, you spent the last 2 years in Baltimore. Is that correct? Okay. Yeah. So you played 8 in Denver, right?
8 years in Denver, won a Super Bowl, and then went to Baltimore for 2 years. And Baltimore's cool, man. It's a good organization. But the best part about Baltimore is you can fucking deer hunt nonstop. Like you get unlimited doe tags and 3 buck tags,
and they got good crab there too,
and great crab.
Yeah,
but it's not the Rockies.
Right.
It's just not. You know.
Well, I'm glad you're still here. I'm glad you're doing the show and all that, man. So coming to Denver, you know, playing alongside of some of the awesome dudes,
Hall of Famers, man.
Like
Champ
Peyton,
Bailey,
Champ, Polamalu, DeMarcus Ware, Von Miller, C.J. Anderson, like. All these dudes, right? And kind of going into that 2015 season, it didn't really – that holds a special spot in my heart, man, because I'm going to tell you why here in a minute. Because, going into that season didn't look like there was much hope, right? It was kind of leaning on the defense. I think, did Peyton get benched at one point or like –
Well, he was hurt. He was hurt. So
right?
he had to like reluctantly, you know, go sit down for a little bit and get healthy. Right. But, yeah, Brock came in and we won some games with him and made it happen. But it was a fucked up season, man. Like, we were winning games at the last minute. But we had in my opinion, not even my opinion, this is fact. We were the best defense to ever fucking do it.
Incredible.
Like, we were the best fucking defense to ever play the game. Wade Phillips was, like, beating that into us the whole season. Like, we're going to be the best to ever do it.
I was so bummed when they cut him.
I don't know. Bullshit. There was some shady shit going on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not on his side, but front office shit and fucking business bullshit that goes on, you know.
Yeah, that was a bad decision, man.
Terrible.
In my eyes, yeah.
I mean,
and especially what you guys had built in the last couple of years and that whole, Super Bowl champs because of the defense, really. It takes a team to play the game, right? But, like, when it comes down to facts.
We put us in position to win games. Like, that was the way it went.
And you won a couple games, too.
Turnovers, scoring touchdowns and shit. Like, we were fucking it was off the chain.
That
was
fun.
So fun.
That was fun to watch. So I've worked on the halftime show for a number of years for the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
And so we go about 3 to 4 weeks before it's even decided, right? So I think it's the divisional round of the playoffs we get to see that played. So I was actually in Santa Clara and I was watching you guys play the Patriots. And it's cool because we have some massholes on the crew that have been at
fucking Massachusetts dudes.
that have been at like 33 Super Bowls. They've been standing on the field watching them, right? Big Patriots fans. They know me, big Broncos fans. Like, I grew up here in my family. When I moved to LA, I grew up right here. At 18 or 19, this was the worst place in the world. I was never going to make it. So I moved to LA and lived there for 20 years. They brought me the brightest orange Bronco shit you could see. I mean, I would have looked like a pumpkin, dude, if I dressed in it all at once, right? Like an orange jumpsuit. And they were like, if you come back a Raiders fan, they just assumed everybody that lived in LA was Raiders fans.
Right.
They were like, if you come back a Raiders fan, just don't even come back.
Just
stay there, right? Like, that's how much they love the Broncos. So that was bred into my blood from a young age, right? Like, I remember watching with my grandfather and uncles and all that sort of stuff on Sundays. It was Broncos or nothing, right?
Right.
And you didn't cheer for anybody else either. See, that's the only time that you might get abused. But yeah, so that lifelong, love for the Broncos, and they were my NFL team. And then I'm sitting there in Santa Clara watching that game go down the way it did, sitting next to a Patriots fan, was like one of the best things. I think you had a sack on Brady in that game, right?
Sack, a couple TFLs. It was fucking. We went off on him.
That
We
was
hit
awesome.
Tom Brady 27 times that game.
Yeah.
We hit the fuck out of him. We were hammering him, dude. It was awesome. I tried to kill him. I hit him the first year. I put a hit on him on the first play of the game, I think. I fucking slammed his ass.
Yeah.
Drove him right into the ground, and I was like, it's going to be a long day, buddy.
Yeah.
But that's the great thing about Tom Brady is he don't give a fuck. He just keeps playing. Like, he just keeps going. Keeps trying to win. And they almost beat us still.
I know. It was close, man. That was a close game. And then I'm sitting there, I'm like, fuck, I'm finally going to be working on a Super Bowl where my team gets to come and play. So I was just fucking jacked, right? So it was cool. Like, I kind of knew before you guys were coming, and I was like, okay, there's a chance. So I'm going to sign up for everything that I can do. I'm going to do the pregame, the postgame, I'm going to do all the production stuff that I can on the field.
Come here.
Yeah.
So fucking jacked up.
That is fucking awesome. So, yeah, we get there 3 or 4 weeks before. We're doing all the rehearsals. They do the national anthem rehearsal. We're in and out of the stadium. I don't know if you know this. Like, we're going up and checking the field every couple days. And as they're painting it, they painted both the end zones Broncos at one point.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So I was
heard
like,
about
yes,
that.
that's a fucking omen, you know, like I was all jacked. So, yeah, we get in there and, you guys arrive.
It was Phillip Rivers I said that to. I did not say that to Tom Brady. I said that to Phillip Rivers.
Still got some bad blood with Phillip?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I'm grown up now. I was 25 years old when that happened. I have kids now and stuff. I wouldn't say shit like that.
Right. So, yeah, it was awesome being there. I was on the field with you guys, for most of the game, all but like 2 minutes of it, and then the halftime and just watching you guys play. And it's cool because I'm there with some of my best buds, and we always had a great time. We always put ourselves in the right position. Like my buddy Kyle, I remember we're right before the national anthem starts. He's out there on the sidelines and Emmanuel's standing there, and Kyle just put out his hand like 3 times right after the national anthem and did like 3 low fives with Emmanuel. And then, I got a high five from Terrell at the trophy presentation.
Sweet.
And I was, of course, jacked up in all my Broncos gear, and just the amount of fun that we had out there and being around a high level game like that and being that close to you guys.
Dude, that shit was,
it was
fun as hell.
Super cool.
It was so fun, man. That was just like when you start playing a game as a kid, right? I was watching I started playing because I watched the Green Bay Packers win a Super Bowl, and I was like, man, I want to put that fucking that T-shirt over my pads and run around with the fucking Lombardi Trophy, and I got to do that, and that's fucking crazy. Like, most people don't get to live their dream, and I got to do it.
Yeah. One thing that sticks out in my mind too about that is you were like, and it seemed like most of the times when I was at Mile High or watching you guys come out, you were like the first guy or one of the first guys on the field right behind like Thunder and Miles, the whole flag thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I would come out.
You were jacked
I would
up
lead the
coming
charge.
out.
Yeah, I would lead the charge and get everybody fucking going.
Yeah. I think I got some great video of you guys coming out. And then we had the national anthem thing we rolled out for Lady Gaga to sing the national anthem. And Peyton was in the way, actually. I was having to yell at him. I was like, Peyton, excuse me, sir. Because I'm a Broncos fan. I'm like, please move, or whatever. Finally, I was like, we were running out of time. I was like, get the fuck out of the way. I don't know if he remembers this or not, but I was like, fuck, I don't want to run him over, those big-ass heavy things. So,
fucking break his ankle before the game or something. Jesus,
Yeah.
that would have been terrible. That would have been
stupid, man.
fucking dumb.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that was a surreal moment for me. Like, that was probably the highlight of my entertainment career. All the rock shows that I've been to, all the traveling, been around the world. Like, there's something special about being there. And then being able to stand with all you guys on the field and your families and stuff during the trophy presentation with the gold confetti and the whole 9. That was pretty sweet.
It was cool as hell, man. It was honestly like, I thought we were going to get back to another one because I thought we were like,
I thought you guys
in the
were
business
too,
of
man.
building a championship dynasty here, and then it was
And
like,
we could have so easily, right?
just get a quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, just get a quarterback.
And it's starting to kind of feel like that again. a little bit, right?
I like it.
I mean, you were down at training camp.
Oh,
What
yeah.
are you thinking about this season?
I like it. Here's the thing: you have to like when you watch that preseason game against the Bills, right? Like the Bills have been trying to build a Super Bowl team for a fucking decade now, right? Like they're trying hard to get one. They finally got a quarterback that's like the real deal in there. They got all the pieces to do it.
Vaughn's over there now.
They brought
right?
Vaughn in there, right? Because they think he fucking shits horseshoes or something. But I mean, he's good. He knows what he's doing, right? He knows how to lead a team. He's learned how to do that, and he's learned what it takes to go win a championship. So he can like educate guys. So I have a feeling the $120 million they gave him had something to do with him wanting to go there too. But anyways, this fucking guy Vaughn, he's hilarious, right? He's absolutely hilarious. But we got a new coach here in Denver, right? Like it's going to take a minute to get that going. Yeah. So if they can go out there and make it to the playoffs this year, I think that should be considered a great success, right? Like if they could just get to the playoffs, next step is to get to the AFC Championship. Next step is to get to the Super Bowl and win it. So it's a process. Like it takes a minute to build a team, right? Like they got the quarterback now. Now they got to get all the pieces around him. They got a good receiving crew. We got a good secondary. Now it's like, all right, now we got to build up the offense and defensive line and all that shit. And the other thing into going to build these championship teams is guys have to be willing to take pay cuts to stay in a place. Like you have to be selfless and take those pay cuts to stay. And a lot of guys aren't willing to do that.
Did they let you retire? Did we lose something?
Yeah. This guy just saw us.
Okay.
Here, unplug that. Oh, fuck. So I bought these new glasses to go for fishing, right?
Yeah. Like polarized? Or?
Yeah, like some polarized ones.
Uh-huh.
I have polarized ones, but they were like specifically for fishing in shallow water. And I couldn't find them in my house the other day, and I was fucking flipping out. I was like, telling my wife, I was like, you threw them away. I know you threw them away. Because she just grabs shit and throws it away all the time, you know?
Right.
And she was like, I swear I didn't throw them away. And I was convinced that she threw them away. And she just sent me a picture of where they were right next to my nightstand.
Oh, shit.
I just didn't think to look there.
Dude, I lost a pocket knife in my house one time. So I'm like digging through the couches. It's spring assisted too, like a spring assist open.
Yeah.
And I had young kids at the time. So I was like, fuck, man, if one of those kids finds that knife,
It's going to be bad.
it's going to be so bad, dude. Like I tore my house apart, ripped the bottom of the couches off, like the little mesh shit. Like my wife was so pissed at me. I found it. I was cleaning out a backpack for a tour that we were on because we were going to the Middle East, and like the drug rules there, like you can't even have like Tylenol PM or any of that shit, right? So I was going through that, and it was in my backpack, like at the bottom. It was a thin little knife, and I had flown with the thing like probably 60 times. That's
hilarious.
Crazy, dude. TSA never caught it one time.
Never caught it.
Yeah.
Speaking about knives and TSA, so when my wife and I first started dating, she was flying back. She lived in Vegas at the time, so she was flying back and forth from Vegas. And I was taking her to the airport, and I was eating in the car while we were going to the airport.
We're back on camera. Does that matter?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
We're eating in the car. We're eating in the car on the way, and there was a butter knife in there. Well, for some reason, I like just tossed the butter knife into her purse. And she goes to get on the plane, and it like almost missed her flight because there was a butter knife in there, and the TSA.
A butter knife?
Yeah, TSA made a huge deal about this butter knife.
Right.
And then she called me, and she's like, "You almost made me miss my flight because this fucking butter knife." It's just funny to me that like you're walking around the fucking
I know, spring assisted
fucking knife,
tactical knife,
yeah,
and like yeah,
and they fucking flip out over a butter knife.
knife.
It just shows you how stupid they are.
Yeah. No, it's so backwards, man. I honestly I hate traveling now. I
fucking hate it.
Yeah.
It was 5 minutes before Derek walked in. We were talking.
Yeah, we were just talking about because I still have to. I mean, I still go out. Unfortunately, the podcast isn't making the money I want it to, but it's more. It's not even about that. It's about fucking hanging out.
Right.
And I enjoy doing this more than anything. How often do I get to sit down with the Super Bowl champion and have an uninterrupted conversation? Man?
Right.
This is fucking rad. So that's why I'm doing it. But if I could do it full time, that would be ideal.
I mean,
right?
it just
But I
takes
still-
time, right? You just keep building.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we're continue to build
just
and
keep
continue
building,
to do this and have a good time with it. Never make it about that, That's kind of the deal. So yeah, I still got to go out and take the occasional rock show or whatever. So like, I spend so much time in like San Francisco and these big cities, and I'm just like,
Fuck.
everybody's like, oh, it must be so cool to like go
No,
to
it's
Vegas.
awful.
So yeah, like I want to hermit out in the woods.
Yeah,
you
I know,
what
right?
It's
Yeah.
like, fuck, I don't want to do any of that.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I beg my wife all the time, like, can we please just move to fucking somewhere where there's no people? She's like, if she doesn't,
You need a big ranch or something, man.
Well,
like,
I'm working on trying to find, like, that's my 10-year plan here. I say 10 years because that's what my wife wants to hear, but really it's like a 5-year plan. I want to buy a couple thousand acres somewhere here in Colorado where I can hunt it. And it's like, that's my spot. That's where I hunt, Like
that can turn into a full business too,
it
right?
could.
Outfitting
Absolutely
it,
could.
whatever.
Yeah, you outfit it, you sell you make it so it's an over-the-counter tag spot, and find a unit. But the problem is land is so fucking expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's disgusting.
It's crazy. It was so hard for me to come back here, because like all the time that I was touring, I was making great money, traveling around the world, single guy, and I was always watching real estate here. But then to come back, like we came back 7 years ago. No.
Yeah.
7 years ago? Something like that. Yeah.
I think so. Because you were like a year before me.
Yeah. So we left LA, went to Texas for a year, which was a mistake, but a blessing at the same time. We sold a house there and made gobs of money on it.
Right.
Because it was the same thing. Things were growing there. And to come back here was a hard pill to swallow to get, $500,000 for
Get you
not
nothing.
that much.
It doesn't get you anything here
Like,
anymore.
Not even. And now I'm living in $1 million house since the pandemic, and it's not.
That's what I'm saying, man.
yeah.
Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
It's crazy. But I don't ever intend on leaving here. So I'm glad I just barely made it back in.
Yeah,
what
you
we
got in
could
at the right
afford.
time.
Yeah.
Because now you probably doubled in equity.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, easily double in
Especially
equity.
up here. It's hard to.
Yeah.
It's always gone up here. But I remember like back early 2000s, you could get a nice house here for under $200,000 on a couple of acres,
That's what everybody says. Well, when I got drafted here in 2012, people were like, I had buddies that were like, oh, you should buy real estate there. And I'm like, fuck, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I was like, I'm not just going to start buying real estate, And I wish I would have, because it would have been a great investment.
Yeah.
But I did. I ended up getting in on some stuff. 2016, 2017, I started buying some shit up that's going to pay off here. Because we're building a house in Cherry Creek right now, and that's fucking expensive, disgustingly expensive. Makes me want to throw up when I look at the budget. I'm just like, what the fuck?
I can't imagine. Yeah.
But again,
But
the
it'll
equity,
be a dream home, right?
Yeah, it'll be our
At that point.
well, my wife's dream home.
Yours is the Yellowstone Ranch,
Yeah,
right?
mine's the fucking ranch where you got to drive for an hour before you see anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it is. I get it though. She grew up in Cheyenne. Like there ain't shit up there.
Yeah.
There's nothing up there. No offense against Cheyenne, but like to her, that's miserable to not have any access to anything. And then she lived in Vegas for a little bit, so obviously you have like literally everything you could ever want at the tip of your fingers.
Right.
So now she's like, listen, I need to have, like, I don't want to drive 30 minutes to the grocery store. I don't want to have to like worry about, oh shit, I need gas, before we drive back. I have to drive 30 minutes to the fucking gas station. Like she just doesn't want to do that. But to me, that sounds like heaven.
Right. Yeah, that's how I envision heaven too. But I mean, that the whole reason we live here is because my kids do all this different stuff. Like they got to go down the hill. Like, my daughter's in this extensive ballet at Colorado Ballet, so like that's a full on thing. And it's like this is close enough. 30 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of the best of both worlds up here a little bit.
I keep trying
We
to get her
got
to move
cool
to Evergreen.
Animals move around.
I've
so.
tried so hard to get her to move to Evergreen
Yeah.
too, and she's just like, no. And I'm like, you're crazy. It's not far from anything. Like it's
about the same distance from downtown, really.
It is.
When you start getting into maybe not.
Well,
but-
Golden is 25 minutes from downtown. You can get to Golden quick.
Yeah, shit. I can be in downtown in like 35 minutes.
Yeah,
or
that's
something,
nothing.
but yeah.
That's nothing. That's only like 10 more minutes than what we are now. And I'm
Yeah, come on up, man. Hang
She-
out. We'll go to
Oh.
American Bowman twice a week.
I wish, dude. That would be absolutely incredible. She just is. I think once my oldest, I have a 15-year-old that's in high school. Once she graduates, then maybe we can.
It's hard when the kids are integrated in a school.
Well, yeah,
and
she's.
stuck there, yeah.
I'm not driving her all the way down to fucking Cherry. It's already a pain in the ass getting her to Cherry Creek now.
Right.
Let alone if we lit, another 30 minutes away. The fucking traffic.
Yeah.
It makes me crazy. It makes me fucking crazy.
Honestly, I don't ever go to Denver unless I'm going to the airport or I have to go down there for one of the kids or something. Like,
there's fucking people everywhere, man.
Yeah.
The homeless people are everywhere. Fucking, it's just,
Dude,
it's
we're
so
looking at,
different.
Homeless people in Cherry Creek too, huh?
Yeah. So I was at the Cherry Creek Mall and my fucking truck got broken into. I was like, of all places, like, what the fuck? In the parking garage too.
Wow.
They didn't even take anything. It just broke in there and
Just
fucking
rummaged through it.
Yeah,
or
just
something?
rummaged through it.
Wow.
Didn't take anything. I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, Colorado's changed a bunch, man. Like growing up here, I wish it was still like that. You know, it's kind of cool. Up here, it still does kind of feel like that. Like my kids go to the same elementary school that I did.
That's
and
cool.
all that sort of stuff. And we live a mile from where I actually grew up, and
Yeah.
totally different lifestyles. Like I grew up dirt ass poor,
Yeah.
you know? But yeah, it's kind of cool because we have that connection too. And
Right.
like my family's been here for fucking ever, man, like for a really long time and stuff. So that there's all my family's here. It's kind of that connection, being
Yeah.
around that's important, you know? So,
Fuck yeah, it is. Yeah.
but yeah, this is a great community, man. We would welcome you guys up here if you ever want to come up.
I'm working on it, man.
Come hang out
I am
anytime.
working on it. Daily working on it. Daily.
Hell yeah.
It's a daily struggle. And here's the other thing. That house we're building, it's going to be worth a lot more than we're putting into it. So it's like,
Hey, that could pay for the ranch, right?
yeah, let's live here for a couple years and
The
sell
Western Slope, I think that's probably where I would end up.
Yeah.
If I didn't have to travel as much, I think we might end up over there.
Like Grand Junction area.
Yeah, maybe even more a little bit towards the divide, like Rifle, Silt,
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
Oh, it's
you
so
know?
beautiful there.
It's so awesome.
And we took that route when we went to Dunton. We drove all the way down there. That's the other thing. She was like, why aren't we flying in a Telluride? I was like, fuck flying. I don't want to do it. I'll drive 8 hours. I don't care.
Right.
I just hate it, man. It's such a pain in the ass.
That's a beautiful drive down there.
Oh, unreal.
Too, man. It's incredible. That
Unreal.
elevated highway and everything, you know, it's pretty cool.
It's unreal, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Everything. I mean, it's just the change of landscape that you get to. You get like that desert feel once you start getting over there. It's wild, man. It's just Colorado is such a beautiful state, man. It's just beautiful.
It's awesome, man. I'm glad that you stayed here, Derek. Thanks for coming in, man. Let's real quick. I know that you're involved with a ton of foundations. You give a lot back to the city. What do you got going on? What's coming up next?
Yeah. So I have a foundation. It's called the Wolfpack Foundation, and it's not tied to just one typical group that you would, a lot of people have one foundation and it works with one group of like underprivileged kids. I do all that. Work with veterans, wounded veterans, work with underprivileged kids. I built my high school back in Ohio, built them a brand new football field, and an indoor facility is going up. Brand new weight room and locker room and stuff like that. It's a really cool deal there. Right now I'm working on trying to figure out a way. So I've been watching these shows, right? These extreme rescue shows where it shows like the like guys are backcountry skiing and they fucking fall in a crevasse or something and break their leg and they can't get out and they have to come and get airlifted out of there. These guys are fucking incredible. These first responders that go in
the
there.
search and rescue. We've had some of those guys.
Those search and rescue guys
fucking
are
awesome.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, they do not mess up. Like they make it happen. They get people out of situations that they should never be alive.
And a lot of times it's free. A lot of those organizations are nonprofits that we
I know.
in and stuff. It's super cool,
I know.
man.
And so I was thinking that maybe, within the next year or two doing some kind of fundraising for those first responders and those search and rescue guys, because those guys are fucking cool. And I want to know that, hey, if I'm out on a backcountry hunt and I fucking fall and break my leg, that I'm not just going to be left there.
Yeah.
I hit that in reach and they're going to be there.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know that. So I think that's important.
No, that's super awesome, man. And it aligns well with what you're doing and what we're doing too. So anything that we can do to help you with our platform.
All right.
Yeah.
I just need to get in contact with the right people over with the search and rescue.
Okay.
So maybe
I can
make that
introduce
connection.
you to, we've had the guys from Alpine Search and Rescue in a couple times and talked about some safety stuff and just, stuff that you really don't think about, like don't send your kid out in a camo jacket and go on a hike. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be harder to find, like just simple stuff like that.
Keep things on you that make it, keep some orange on you. Something that is reflectant.
And have a few things in your pack, and have a plan if something happens, right? Like that's the biggest thing is having like a plan. So, and they're just awesome organizations. They're doing all kinds of different stuff. A lot of them are volunteer based too, so these are people that are like getting off their couch to go help somebody, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
dude. And those guys are
pretty
fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
They're really cool. They do some cool stuff. Like, I mean, I was watching this one. They go into this cave, and they had to like blow. They had to do demolition in the cave to get this guy out of there.
Wow.
Imagine that. And
Yeah.
he had 5 vertebrae that were broken. This rock like fell on him while he was in the cave, and they had to like blow it apart to get him out of there.
Damn.
And I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. It took him like 19 hours to get him out.
Man, some of the rope access stuff that they do too, and like the vehicles. And I know one thing that was kind of shocking when they had him in, but to no surprise is, a lot of the spots where they're doing rescue are up in the mountains, right? So like I-70 is a parking lot on the weekend.
You can't drive
So
up
they're
there.
having to, like, the expense has gone through the roof on rescues now because they have to take a helicopter to
and
get
it's
to them.
expensive.
So it's
Fuel.
either a National Guard or Flight for Life stopping and picking them up. How badass is Flight for Life too? They're another nonprofit
Yeah.
that basically it's a free ride to save your life.
And it's expensive.
Yeah, it's super expensive.
That shit is
to fire
expensive.
it up,
To
right?
fire, you fire that thing up, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Well, think about an ambulance ride, how expensive that is.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
10 exit.
Yeah.
That's a helicopter ride.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, no,
crazy.
we're super fortunate here in the state, and I think that's a great.
Yeah,
idea,
I think it would be
man.
fun. I've been thinking about it a lot the last like 2 months, really, about what can I do to help these first responders or do something, raise money and raise awareness for that. And the first responders everywhere. I have a couple buddies that are firefighters and stuff, and one of my buddy Lane Walter, actually, I don't know if you know who he is, but he lives up in Loveland. He's a firefighter
I
in
know
Denver.
the name.
Yeah,
Okay.
he does a lot of filming for hunts and stuff.
Okay.
He's a big bow hunter too.
Cool.
Really awesome dude, awesome family. His wife was a police officer. Like, he's just a cool dude.
Sounds like we need to get Lane in here.
You got to get Lane in here. Yeah, he's a cool
Okay.
dude. Yeah, he's a really cool dude. But yeah, he's the one to kind of like, he's been like helping me, point me in the right direction as far as like where I need to go for the filming and stuff. And he's just been, these firefighters and the shit they got to deal with, right? Like he was telling me a story the other day about this, like, they're there for like emergencies, right? Not for some fucking, teenage girl that has a hangover.
Right.
Like, they call her, like, she thinks she's dying, and he gets there and she's just fucking hungover. That's the only. I'm like,
Hopefully she didn't get a free IV out of it, huh?
yeah, she did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like, we had to give her an IV and she was fine, and I was like, dude, that's fucking bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
come on, get it together, right? But
Yeah,
the shit they
that's
got to
wild.
deal with on a daily basis, right? Like, you're dealing with drug addicts and fucking, people that are like mentally ill, and
Yeah.
I just, anything I could do for the first responders, the police officers and the firefighters and
That's
the search
awesome,
and
man.
rescue guys, like, that's just, to me, that's like one big organization.
You should maybe consider, I think one community that doesn't get a lot of love and it's a lot of people and they don't make a lot of money. There's two. Game wardens are one.
Yeah.
We just, I got a upcoming podcast with John Norris. He was like battling the cartels and the environmental damage that was happening in California with these illegal grow operations, right? Pesticides, all this crazy shit. So that podcast will be coming out soon.
That'll be cool.
And he was just super rad guy, but like he basically did that for nothing for
nothing.
25 years, right? Like not much money, right?
Yeah.
And they were going with insuperior gear, but also wildland firefighters. We've had
Yeah,
been
those
having
fucking
some-
guys.
Those guys are fucking those hotshot dudes,
Dude.
cutting down trees. How much risk they're at? All the implications that come after they're done with
Yeah,
their careers.
they're
You know,
breathing
it's
in
not
that
like-
shit.
Yeah, they're breathing in the shit. They don't have respirators. They're not like your typical firefighters going into a deal. It's kind of like, here's your chainsaw and your shit. Go get it done.
Yeah, go stop this fire
and the
from
money
spreading.
is like
Nothing.
$12 an hour or something.
Yeah.
Like you can make more money working at McDonald's. So it's strictly like for the passion, right?
Yeah.
And just badass people, right? Great
Right.
people to be around. Any of those military dudes that we've had, a big supporter of that. So yeah, I think you're on the right track, man. And I think it's kind of a dying career too, right? Like who wants to go and do that?
Yeah,
You're not
for shit
getting
money.
paid or, it's like,
For shit money, no benefits really. Like I think there's definitely something that we can do.
that's
we
awesome.
could do silent auctions and do fucking,
Yeah.
do archery events, I'd draw a crowd of people that don't even shoot archery to come up there, to take pictures and sign
oh
autographs
yeah,
and
that's
shit,
incredible up there. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, and and the other thing is like on the conservation side of things, like I want to bring awareness to, I want to educate people on hunting, like what it does, like we talked about earlier, what it does for the actual herd of animals, like how important we are to the conservation of these animals.
Yeah.
Like, I think they had that Hug a Hunter program, right?
Right.
Because all those trails that these fucking guys are walking on,
bridges that cross the
all
streams,
the bridges, all the fucking
public land,
all that stuff. I think the search and rescue is paid by that too, right?
It is, yeah. So I think there's a portion. I think it actually says search and rescue.
Yeah, you pay like a little, but it's such
like
a small amount,
or
right?
something, right? It's so worth it.
Yeah,
and it comes with an insurance policy, basically. Like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, if you fuck up out there, we got your back, right?
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. I love the path. I love that you're staying in Denver, man. Thanks for making it up here. And
of course, man.
Yeah, we'll wrap this thing up, let you get out of here. And anytime you want to come back too, dude, you're always welcome. And
extend the invite, brother. I'll come up.
All right.
I'll come up and hang out.
For sure.
Anytime.
And let's get up to American Bowman too. We'll go shoot some.
Yeah, let's do that.
There too. Whenever you want.
Let's do that.
Thanks for listening to the Mountainside Podcast. If you haven't had a chance to do this already, please take a moment, follow, like, subscribe, or rate on whatever platform you catch the Mountainside Podcast at. Also, if you'd like some more information on upcoming episodes, safety tips, access to all of our affiliates, and all the badass discounts that we get here at the Mountainside Podcast, check out themountainsidepodcast.com.